Hello guys, good morning and welcome to Exampur. Good morning everyone. Please confirm me that I'm audible and visible to you. My audio and video both are reaching to you properly. Okay. We are going to discuss some important previous year question paper of the UPSC examination and questions which UPSC has asked in previous years, especially in 2021. And we will discuss some important topic related to that questions. Okay. So in today's session, today's session is very important session for you because we will discuss the topic from the topics from which the question has been asked in UPSC in the previous year. Okay. So please confirm me. Firstly, confirm me that I'm audible to you and my video is also reaching to you properly. And then I start the classes. Okay. So as you know, from Monday to Friday on this platform, you are getting the theory classes. Okay, that means the theory classes you are getting, but in Friday, Saturday and Sunday, okay, in the weekend, we discuss the things with a long class through the multiple choice question in the different subject. Okay, so on this platform, you are getting the things which are relevant for the UPSC examination for UPSC aspirants. And in today's session, we are going to discuss, as I said to you, that today we are going to discuss some important multiple choice questions and the topic which is related to that multiple choice questions. Okay, so you should try to solve these questions firstly at your end, and then I will discuss the things related to these questions. The first question of the session is on your screen, and please try to read this question and then try to respond your answer on your comment box. Okay, so question number 1 and the first question of the day is: the vegetation of savanna consists of grassland with scattered small trees. The forest development in such areas is generally kept in the check by one or more or a combination of some conditions. Which of the following are such conditions? Burrowing animals and the termites, fire, grazing herbivores, seasonal rainfalls, and soil properties. Select the correct answer using the code given below. Okay, select the answer using the code given below. Please read this question and try to respond the answer of this question. And I think now the question is complete question with option is visible on your screen. Okay, so please try to read the question and then respond the answer of this question. This question is related to most important topic for UPSC examination is World Climatic Zone. If you analyze the previous year question paper, you will get that every year UPSC has asked the question from this section. That is why this section of your climatology part is very important for prelims as well as for mains. Okay, so in the prelims examination, if you analyze the question paper, then you will get that a question has been asked from this section in every year. Okay, so every year question has been asked from this section. That is why this section is very important. And for a geography student, this section is very relevant section, or you can say this is the part of the regional geography. When you study about the regional geography, then you will take the help of this chapter of the geography. And if you want to read the G.C. Leong book, if you read the G.C. Leong book, G.C. Leong is a basic book for the civil services. The second part of the GC Leong is completely belongs from this section. That means I think there is a 12 chapters. There is a 12 chapters which is completely related or the completely based on this topic of the geography. So you must go through these chapters of the GC Leong. And if you want to understand that chapters, then please join us, join me at, or you can catch me on the ISPCS by Exampur YouTube channel at every 10 a.m. from Monday to Friday. Okay. So on Monday to Friday, I am discussing the GC Leong book, complete book on the ISPCS YouTube channel. If you want to make the clarity in your concept, then please go on, please join us from that YouTube channel. Okay. So world climatic zone is very important topic, and UPSC, for the UPSC perspective, it is important. So please consider this thing. The vegetation of the savanna. That means this question is regarding to savanna climatic zone. Okay. In this question, question is talking about the vegetation of savanna. Consider the grassland and the scattered small trees. Okay. This is the feature of the savanna grassland. The forest development in such areas is generally kept in the check by one or more or combination of the some condition. The forest development in such area is generally kept in check. Which conditions or the statements or the given statements or the conditions are checking the forest development in this savanna zone or the savanna climatic zone. So which are the conditions? So firstly, you should know about the what is the savanna climatic zone and what is the main feature of this savanna climatic zone, and then you are able to resolve, you are able to respond this question. Then if you have the information about the savanna grassland climatic zone, then you are able to respond the answer of this question. So firstly, you should know about the savanna climatic zone. At which latitude, at which, what is the extension of the savanna climatic zone, and what is the important feature of the savanna climatic zone, and what are the reasons behind this distinct feature of this climatic zone. So firstly, you should know about these things, and for the understanding of the savanna climatic zone, you should understand the entire climatic zone of the world. And if you want to make a clarity in the entire climatic zone of the world, then we are going to discuss this world climatic zone. Okay. And all the climatic zones, all the conditions are very scientific, very you can say the interrelated. And if you want to interlink all these climatic zone, if you are able to interlink this climatic zone with the factors which influence the climatic zone, then it would be very easy for you to make clarity in your concept. Okay. So firstly, you should know about this. Here I'm taking a ideal continent. Here I'm taking a ideal continent, and this ideal continent is the continent and which is surrounded by the ocean. That means this is the part of the ocean, or you can say that this is the marine part, and this is also the part of the ocean. Okay, so this continent is surrounded by the ocean, and this is an ideal continent. Okay, so it is a ideal continent. I considered it as an ideal continent. And the condition, what condition we are discussing here, that condition should be implemented at the same latitude on the earth. Okay, if I am discussing the things on this ideal continent of the in this latitudes, that means all the condition that we are discussing here, that all condition should be applied, or that condition, all condition is applied on the actually, or the actual ground of that latitude on the earth's surface. Okay, so if we take this section, okay, suppose this is an ideal continent and this is the 0 degree latitude. This is the 0 degree latitude. If the 0 degree latitude and this is the 10 degree latitude, north and south, north and south. So what is the meaning of this 0 degree to 10 degree north and south? That means what conditions we are discussing here for this latitude. That means these all conditions are applied on this section. That means 0 to 10 degree north and 0 to 10 degree south. Okay, so conditions of this region should applied on this region on earth. Okay, so this is the ideal continent. So I think this is an important thing. You should understand this topic. If you understand this topic, you can relate this topic from your biome section, or you can relate this topic to your environment and ecology section. Okay, so this is the 0 degree latitude, and as you know in your as you studied in your climatology section, that is the equatorial part of the earth, or the equatorial part of the earth is getting more solar energy from the sun, because there is a thin atmospheric layers is found relatively to other areas. So there is a atmospheric layer is thin, and the sun rays is falls perpendicularly. Atmospheric layer is thin means the sun rays is falls perpendicularly, and that is why the area or the penetration of the sun rays is very steep, or you can say the high, and that is why the layer of the atmosphere is crossed by the sun layer. The sun solar radiation is relatively low, and that is why the loss of energy due in the path is low, and that is why per hectare per square area, or the per unit area, the amount of the energy that is coming from the solar radiation is relatively higher at the equatorial part, at the equatorial region. So this is the region, equatorial region, that is getting the maximum temperature, that is getting the maximum heat, and this region gets the energy throughout the year. That means this area of earth is getting the energy throughout the year, and that is why the temperature of this area is relatively maximum. The temperature of this area is relatively maximum, principally, or the ideally, if you can say, the area, temperature of this area is relatively maximum. Okay, average temperature. Here we are talking about the average temperature. So average temperature of this region is maximum, and that is why if the temperature of this region is maximum, so think about this. If the temperature is maximum, that means temperature is maximum, then temperature influence the rate of evaporation. If any place has the maximum temperature, that means the water body that are located at that particular place get the vaporized. There is a vaporization or the evaporation process taking place. So if the temperature is high, then the rate of the evaporation is automatically high in this region if there is a water body is present. Okay, so if the temperature is high in this region, then the precipitation, yani evaporation, the rate of evaporation is also high in this region. Okay, if the rate of evaporation is high, rate of evaporation is high. If the rate of evaporation is high, that means the humidity in the atmosphere will at the higher condition, or the amount of the humidity, or you can say the percentage of humidity in the atmosphere is high. And if the percentage of humidity is high, that means it is suitable for the maximum precipitation. So temperature is high, rate of evaporation is high, and that is why the precipitation of this zone, or the precipitation of this area, is very high. So the area which is lies between the 0 degree to 10 degree north and south, that region experience the maximum temperature. That area is getting the maximum rate of evaporation, and that area is getting maximum precipitation. And that is why the average annual precipitation of this zone is more than 200 centimeter. That means the average precipitation of this zone is more than 200 centimeter, and the average annual temperature of this zone is more than 27 degrees Celsius. Okay, so average temperature of Earth is 15 degrees Celsius, and that particular region that is falls between the 10 degree to 10 degree north and south, this area experience the average temperature is 27 degrees Celsius. That is the 12 degrees Celsius higher than the average temperature of the Earth. So this is the high temperature that is considered. Okay, so temperature high, rate of evaporation is high, precipitation is high. So if there's any zone which has the maximum temperature and the maximum precipitation, that area that has the maximum temperature and the maximum precipitation, So temperature and the water, or the supply of the water, both are the sufficient, both are the important factor for the growth of the vegetation. That are both are the important factor for the growth of the vegetation. And try to understand here, this zone are getting the annual temperature is high. That means the temperature throughout year is high. There is a no any season of the winter. There is no winter season is found between these latitude. So you can say, you can understand here, that is the, there is a no winter season. That means the temperature is high throughout the year. If the temperature is high throughout the year, that means the precipitation is also high throughout the year. So there is a no absence of the precipitation, and according to, there is a no absence of the precipitation. And here approximately more than 300 years, 300 days out of 1 year, or the 300 days out of the 365 days are wet days. That means you can say that these days experience the precipitation. So precipitation is more than 300 days in a year. That means this is a very high rate of the precipitation in this zone. So there is a no deficiency of the water is found in this zone. There is a no deficiency of the water is found in the zone. If there is a no deficiency of the water, that means the supply of the water for the vegetation is relatively high. You can say here that the supply of the water for the vegetation is relatively high. If the supply of the water for the vegetation is relatively high and the temperature is also high, soil is also present. So there is a three important factors that are required for the vegetation. First one is the soil, second one is the water, and the third one is the temperature. And all the factors are suitable, all the factors are favorable for this for the vegetation of this zone, and there is a no deficiency of the water, and that is why there is a vegetation found which never shed all the leaves at the same time. Okay, there is a vegetation found that never shed all the leaves at the same time. You cannot say that the vegetation is this vegetation does not falls the leaf. The vegetation, evergreen vegetation also shed their leaves, but all the leaves does not sheds at the same time. Okay, in the deciduous forest you experience that the plants sheds all the leaf at the same time. Plants sheds all the leaves at the same time, because that is the dry, due to the dry region, or the due to the dry condition of the atmosphere. So for the conservation of water, the plants sheds all the leaves at the same time, and at that time if you look the vegetation is naked, or you can say the bared vegetation is appear on the horizon of the earth. So this is the important feature. And the vegetation which does not shed all the leaves, and that is why this vegetation appears evergreen. This vegetation is always appears the green, and that is why such a vegetation is called the evergreen vegetation, and that is found in this zone. So this is the, in this region there is a vegetation that is found as the evergreen vegetation. This vegetation is found as the evergreen vegetation. So precipitation is high, and this zone which consists the evergreen vegetation. What is the reason behind of the vegetation to being evergreen? The reason is there is a rainfall occurs throughout the year. There is no dry season, and due to the absence of the dry season, the vegetation that is found in this zone is always looks green, and that is why it is termed as the evergreen vegetation. Okay. Please confirm me that uh, everything is okay. Okay. So this is a zone. This zone is called the equatorial climatic zone. This zone is called equatorial climatic zone. Equatorial climatic zone. This zone is called the equatorial climatic zone. Okay. So now the next, the area that is extends between the 10° to 30° north and south. Okay, the area that is extend, the part of the continent that is extend between the latitude of the 10° and the 30° north and south. So this zone, which experience the some region, this zone experience the dry season as well as the wet season, because in this zone the impact of the solar radiation or the solar radiation does not falls with the same intensity throughout the year. There the intensity of the solar radiation, or the you can say the insolation, is variable in for this zone. In this zone, the intensity of the solar radiation is almost same, but in this zone, the intensity of the solar radiation is not same. This is in variable condition, in the variable condition, and that is why this zone experience the some month in the hot season, or the some month is you can say the hotter, and the some month is cold. Some month is colder. So if the some months are colder and the some months are the hotter, then there is the climatic condition is will not remain same. In this zone, the climatic condition remains same throughout the year, but in this zone, the climatic condition is not same. The climatic condition is variable for in 1 year. Okay, within 1 year, the climatic condition is not same. And when this zone become hotter, that so this zone experience the low atmospheric pressure, because the temperature of the atmosphere is inversely related to the pressure of the atmosphere. When this zone become hotter, this zone experience the low atmospheric pressure, and the atmospheric pressure of atmospheric pressure of the oceanic body or the oceanic region is relatively high, and due to this difference in the atmospheric pressure, this zone experience the high pressure and this zone experience the low pressure. That means the marine region experience the high pressure, high atmospheric pressure, and the climatic you can say the continental zone or the continental part experience the low atmospheric pressure. Okay, and that is why there is a tendency to develop the there is a tendency to move the winds from ocean to landmass, and these winds are called monsoon wind. These winds are called monsoon wind. So these winds are called monsoon winds. So why this monsoon wind started to move from oceanic body to continental body? Due to the difference in the atmospheric pressure, and this zone experience the high pressure and this zone experience the low pressure. And now you can say here, if the atmospheric pressure is this monsoon wind is started to move, so one extra important factor that influence this mechanism, that is the movement of the trade wind. Trade wind is the permanent wind, and due to the direction of this trade wind, monsoon winds enters from eastern part of the monsoon enters into the continent from the eastern section, because this section is because of the direction of the trade wind, because the direction of the trade wind is from east to west. If you study the trade wind in your permanent winds, then you got that the direction of the trade wind is from east to west. So due to the influence of the trade wind, the direction of this wind, this monsoon wind enters into the continent from eastern part. Okay, so from the eastern part, if this monsoon wind enters into the continent, At the initial stage of the entering, the monsoon winds are wetted, or the monsoon wind is laden with the humidity. Monsoon wind is completely laden with the humidity. That means it has the maximum amount of the humidity, because it just immediately leave the oceanic surface and enters into the continental part. So this wind is humidity laden wind, and that is why this wind enters into the ocean land part, and when it enters into the land part, it started to precipitate. It started to precipitate, and the amount of precipitation is higher. Amount of the precipitation is higher, and that climatic zone that is getting this precipitation is called the monsoon climatic zone. This climatic zone is called the monsoon climatic zone, or you can say the monsoon climatic zone. So amount of the precipitation in this monsoon climatic zone is relatively high, but it does not precipitate throughout the year. Rainfall does not is getting the this region does not gain the rainfall throughout the year. It gets only for the few fixed time period of in the year. For the fixed time period in the year, it got the rainfall, and the amount of rainfall is approximately 150 centimeter to 200 centimeter. 100 centimeter to 200 centimeter. So this amount of the rainfall are enough or sufficient to supply the supply the water of the heavy plants or the larger plants. So this monsoon climatic zone consists the large plants, or you can say the large trees. So here is here in this climatic zone you can look the large trees and the small trees, large trees. If the supply of the large trees is fulfilled by the amount of the water which is precipitated or is rained in this zone, that means the all vegetation that is which required this less amount of the water also found in this zone. So this is the zone where the large trees are also found, and the large trees when the dry season appears on this climatic zone, when the rainfall stopped, then this zone then the vegetation found in this zone is started to shed all their leaves at the same time, and this type of vegetation is called the deciduous vegetation. This type of vegetation is called the deciduous vegetation. So this zone consists the deciduous vegetation. So continue this mechanism, continue. And these winds, these monsoon winds which are coming from the oceanic body, at the initial phase of the continent, it has the humid laden wind. It is the humid laden wind and it precipitates. But when this wind enters into the mid part of the continent, the humidity releases. Some humidity released in this section, and now when this wind enters into the mid part of the central part of the continent, the humidity is relatively less. If the humidity is relatively less, then the amount of precipitation is in this zone is relatively less than the monsoon climatic zone. So this zone is specifically seen in the savanna zone, and that is why it comes as the name of the savanna climatic zone. It is termed as the savanna climatic zone. In the savanna climatic zone, when the monsoon wind reaches, the amount of precipitation is relatively less than the monsoon climatic zone. So amount of precipitation is less. So precipitation, you can say the amount of precipitation is relatively less. So here is a no sufficient supply of water for the large trees. So in this climatic zone, you don't look if in this climatic zone there is no large trees is found. There is an absence of the large trees because there is no sufficient amount of the water is present to fulfill the requirement of the large trees. So there is no large trees, but there is a small trees are found because the amount of the requirement of the small trees is fulfilled. And small trees with the small trees, there is a long grasses. There is a long grasses because the grass requires the less water than the trees. So there is a sufficient amount of the long grasses are present in this climatic zone. So this climatic zone are featured with the long grasses plus small trees, and its density of the small trees is not as much as long trees. So density of the long trees, long grasses is high, and there is some amount of, you can say, your less dense small trees is also scattered in the long grassland region. So this climatic zone is called the savanna climatic zone. This climatic zone is called the savanna climatic zone. Okay, and when these monsoon winds reach it to the western part, at the western edge of the continent, this monsoon wind get drier because all the precipitation has been released in these two zones, and this monsoon wind get drier, and due to the dryness of this monsoon wind, this zone does not experience the rainfall, and that is why this is called the desert climatic zone. This is called the desert climatic zone, and this climatic zone does not experience the precipitation, and the precipitation is relatively less than the 25 centimeter, and that is why this zone is called the desert climatic zone. And you can say, that is why we can say that all the deserts, which is hot desert, is mostly extended between the 10-degree latitude to 30-degree latitude, 10-degree latitude to 30-degree latitude on the western margin of the continent. On the western margin of the continent. So here, the question is related to this climatic zone. The question is related to this climatic zone. Now, read the question again. Kept in the check one or more or combination of the some condition. Which of the following are the such condition? What condition are there that check the forest development in such area? Burrowing animals and the termites, fire, grazing herbivores, seasonal rainfalls, soil properties. Which are the factors which check the development of the plants? So firstly, this is the zone of the grassland. This is the zone of the grassland. If there is a grasses is found abundantly, that means this is favorable condition. This is the favorable region for the herbivores. This is the favorable condition for the herbivores. That means if the herbivores are present in this zone, that means they are obviously they graze. Okay, so grazing is important factor. Grazing, they always they graze. So grazing is important factor. And in grassland, when the dry season came, during the dry season, these grasses completely dried up, and due to the drying of these grasses is suitable for the firing. This firing, if the fire is happen in this grassland region, then the firing is if the fire happen in this grassland region, then the entire grassland region will be destroyed. So fire is also important factor. Seasonal rainfall. So seasonal rainfall is an important factor, as I mentioned, I discussed. So important factors, firstly, which is very important, that is the 4-1 is the important factor, seasonal rainfall. So on the point of the 4 or the 4th point, you can eliminate the option which does not have the point 4. So option number 1 and the option number D, option A and option D can easily eliminate it. So seasonal rainfall is an important factor for the less development of the forest in this region. Okay, so first is important factor. Second, grazing herbivores. Grazing herbivores are the important factor, but it is not so much important to which can check the growth of the forest. Check the growth of the forest. So soil properties is also not suitable. So soil properties is also not suitable. You can say soil properties are suitable. Soil properties are suitable because this soil consists the, you can say this soil consists the maximum amount of the humus, because these grasses easily can compost, and they can improve the humus quantity of this region. So fire, grazing, and the seasonal rainfall, these three things are important factor to check the growth of the growth of forest in this region, or the check the growth of development of the forest in this savanna climatic zone. Okay, so I think, is it clear to you? Question number second. Read this question easily and carefully, and then try to respond. This question came from the NCERT class 7th. Okay, with reference to the water on planet Earth, consider the following statements. The amount of water in the rivers and the lakes are more than the amount of the groundwater. The amount of water in polar ice caps and the glaciers is more than the amount of the groundwater. Which statement is correct? Which statement is correct? Read this question. With reference to the water on the planet Earth, consider the following statements. The amount of water in the rivers and lakes are more than the amount of groundwater. The amount of the water in the polar ice caps and the glacier is more than the amount of the groundwater. This question is came from the NCERT class 7th. NCERT class 7th. Okay. So NCERT, you must read the NCERTs of the lower classes as well, because lower classes NCERT is also important. So you should go through these NCERTs, and especially the points which is mentioned in the boxes, and the graphs and the charts that are given in the NCERT. That charts and the graphs are very important. Okay, so you should go through these charts and the graphs, because this topic or these points are given in the form of the pie chart in NCERT class 7. So amount of water in the rivers and the lakes are more than the amount of the groundwater. Okay, so if you understand there is a 100, if you understand, if you consider that the 100% of the water that is found on the earth, in which 97% of the water is not usable, and this is not the fresh water. It is not the fresh water. That means it is the saline water, and that are stored in the ocean. Only the 3% of the water, 3% of the water are usable for the human being. You can say this is the fresh water. 3% of the water is the usable, that is the fresh water. And in the 3% of the water, the maximum water is stored by the ice cap and the glaciers. Ice cap and the glacier. This water is stored by the ice cap and the glaciers. And then this fresh water is on the second point. rivers and the lakes. Rivers and lakes are also consist the maximum amount of the fresh water, and then the groundwater. So groundwater is also the important resource of the fresh water, important source of the fresh water, but we are exploiting the groundwater at the present time. So first statement is also correct, second statement is also correct. So both statements are correct regarding this fresh water. So fresh water, potable water is very precious on the planet. Although planet has the plant 71% of the planet is covered with the water. After the you can say the abundance of the water, we are not able to utilize that water because only the few percentage of the water are usable. Okay, so we should consider water as a precious resource on the earth, and we should respect the water, and we should firstly know about the how we utilize optimally the water resource. Okay, so optimum use of the water resource is very important for us. So read the question number next. That is, the black cotton soil of India has been formed due to the weathering of brown forest soil, fissured volcanic rock, granite and schist, shale and limestone. Okay, this question is very important because option is different. In this question, the option is different. Option is not common. So this question is regarding the black cotton soil of the India, and particularly this is black soil of the India. So how this black soil is formed? After the which type of the rock rocks weathering, this soil has been formed. So what is the meaning of this soil? You should know about this soil. Okay, weathering. What is the weathering? You should know about what is the weathering. Weathering is the process by which any rock got you can say in the decomposed form. Any rock get decomposed by this process, and this process weathering is done by the three different processes. That is the physical weathering, second one is the chemical weathering, and third one is the biological weathering. Okay, if any rock got fragmented, if any rock got decomposed due to the, if any rock physically decomposed or physically fragmented, okay, then such type of the weathering is called the physical weathering. If any rock is located at any particular place due to the impact of the temperature, pressure, and other physical factors, that rock got fragmented. So such type of the weathering is called the physical weathering. If there is a chemical composition, due to the change in the chemical composition, if any rock got fragmented or the decomposed, okay, so decomposition of the rock due to the change in the chemical composition, then such type of the weathering is called the chemical weathering. And the fragmentation of the rock due to the biological factor, if the such type of the chemicals or the acidic secretion by the some organism, some microorganism, and that acid are responsible to get the weaker this particular rock, to weak the rock. If due to the chemicals the rock is getting weaker, or if rock is getting weak, that means this factor is the biological factor, and because of that biological factor the rock is come into decomposition form, and that is this type of the weathering is called the biological weathering. So chemical weathering, physical weathering, and the biological weathering, there are three types of the weathering. And in the weathering you generally know the decomposition of the rock, or you can say the fragmentation of the rock, or the bonding that is found in the molecules of the rock is weaker, and that is why the defragmentation of the rock is taking place. So weathering is the phenomena that is due to the exogenetic forces. Okay, soil. If any soil is being formed, that means there is a weathering phenomena is happened. Okay, due to the weathering phenomena, any soil is formed. And soil is formed on the base of the rock, and this type of rock is called the parent rock. This type of rock is called the parent rock. So soil is the function of the parent rock, time, and the other factor, climatic factor. Okay. So on the parent rock, any type of the soil is formed. Suppose if there is a rock that is found on the earth's surface, and this is part of the lithosphere, the upper part of this rock is got weathered, and due to the weathering of this, the rock particle decomposed and into the you can say that in the loose material. In the loose material, they are stored on the surface of the rock, and if these loose material of the rock is composed with is associated with the you can say organic material, then it form the if it associated with the organic material, then it form soil. If any soil is formed with the parent rock, then the features that is found on the parent rock will appear into the soil, because what type of the minerals is found, which are determined by the rock composition. Which type of the mineral is found, that is determined by the rock composition. So parent rock has important, or you can say the crucial role in the formation of the soil and in the determination of the soil's feature. Okay, in the determination of the soil's feature. So organic material, rock, or soil. You can say the soil is the composition of the rock and the organic material. Rock particles are the loose rock particles with the organic material. This is called the soil. So if any black soil is found, that means the black soil is the feature of the black soil is determined by the feature of that particular rock from which the black soil is being formed. So you can understand here, black cotton soil of India is formed on the basaltic lava. So in India, there is a region. That is called the Deccan Trap. This region is called the Deccan Trap. And this Deccan Trap was formed due to the solidification of the basaltic magma. This basaltic magma was erupted on the near the African hotspot. Okay, near the Reunion hotspot. You can say hotspot from where this basaltic magma was erupted on the surface. Reunion hotspot. This hotspot is called the Reunion hotspot. And this basaltic magma is basically the mafic magma. You can say this is the mafic magma, and mafic magma, or you can say this is the basic magma. And this basic magma basically consists the high amount of the heavy metals. This consists the high amount of the heavy materials or heavy metals. Okay. So due to these heavy metals, there is a presence of the titaniferous magnetite. There is a presence of the titaniferous magnetite. And due to presence of this magnetite, titaniferous magnetite, the color, the soil that is formed on this basaltic magma on the Deccan Trap is appeared blackish in the color. And this is why this soil is called the black soil. So this soil is called this soil appears blackish due to the presence of the titaniferous magnetite, and that is why this soil is called the black soil. Okay. This soil is called the black soil, and this black soil consist by some features, Okay, this black soil is considered by the some feature, that is this soil is the sticky soil. When it get the less amount of the water, it is get the sticky, and when it dried up, there is a large cracks appears in this soil, and this soil is favorable for the cotton production. This is favorable for the cotton production, and that is why this soil is also called the cotton soil, and that is why this soil is termed as a black cotton soil in the question. Okay, so this type of the eruption, this type of the formation, this type of the this is black soil formation. And if there is a basaltic magma is found, basaltic magma is basically thin magma. Basaltic magma is basically a thin magma. Okay. If any thin magma started to erupt from any point, from any hot spot, then this magma, thin magma, does not has the more upthrust force. That is why this is not able to make the blast on the surface. This magma is not able to make the blast on the surface, and that is why this magma erupted outside from the inner part of the earth through a crack, and that type of the crack is called this type of the crack, and this magma started to flow on the surface of the surface, and it is not high intense magma. It is not started to blast, because this is the thin magma, and that is why the upthrust force that is generated by this magma is not so much high. So there is a fissuring, there is a crack appears, and due to the crack, the magma started to move upward direction and started to flow on the surface, and that is why this type of the magma create the volcanic dome. This type of the magma create the volcanic dome structure, and this type of the volcanic dome structure is found basically in the oceanic body, oceanic crust, on the oceanic crust. And if this is basaltic magma is located, if there is a basalt quantity is high on this magma, if the weathering will happen on, if the weathering is starts on the surface of this type of magma, then it create the black soil. Okay, that it create the black soil, and this type of the volcanic eruption is called the fissuring, or the fissure eruption of the volcano. So this type of the eruption is called the fissure eruption of the volcano. Okay, so now read the question and then try to answer. The black cotton soil is formed by the mafic magma. So you understand here, this is formed by the mafic magma. Okay, or you can say the basic magma. And basic magma are the magma which consist the maximum amount of the heavy materials. Okay, heavy materials. And black cotton soil is formed by the basic magma. If the basic magma erupted during the volcanic eruption, so there is no blast. This type of the volcanic eruption is called fissure type volcanic eruption. This type of the volcanic eruption is called the fissure type volcanic eruption. So what would be the answer of this question? The black cotton soil of India has been formed due to the weathering of which brown forest soil. Brown forest soil is basically found in the you can say equatorial rainforest region. Equatorial rain region. Fissure volcanic rock. Okay, granite and the schist rock, shale and the limestone. So if black soil is formed on the fissure volcanic rock, and the fissure volcanic rock is also termed as the you can say here basaltic rock. Okay, you can say here it is basaltic rock. So the question that UPSC has asked, the change the option and make the tough option, and this question is, that is why this question is relatively tough, because there is a amalgamation of the two topics. There is an amalgamation of the two topics. Volcanic eruption, if you understand the which type of the volcanic eruption, or the how the volcanic eruption is determined by the nature of the magma, nature of the lava, and then you are able to respond. You are able to give the response of this question. Otherwise, it would be a very difficult question for the person which does not has clarity in concept. Okay, so answer is the B of this question. Next question. This question is related to the palm oil. So UPSC has asked the palm oil because palm oil was in the news. Palm oil was in the news. Indian government was working on in the field of the palm oil, and that is why the UPSC has asked the basic of the palm oils. This is the nature of the UPSC, that UPSC always ask, or UPSC always try to know from you the basic thing, the thing that has effect on the human being, the things which is related to the daily life. Okay, so always try to relate the things with the basic things, or try to always know about the what is the relevancy of anything. Read this question and then try to respond. Okay. So, with reference to the palm oil, consider the following statements. The palm oil trees is native to Southeast Asia. The palm oil is a raw material for some industries producing lipstick and the perfumes. The palm oil can be used to produce the biodiesel. Which of the statement given above are correct? Okay. So here the palm oil trees is the native to the Southeast Asia. No, this is the native to the South Africa, or you can say the Africa. This palm oil belongs to the Africa continent. So this is not the native of the Southeast Asia. This is the native of the Africa. Okay. So first statement is not correct. First statement is wrong. Okay. So on the basis of the A, you can eliminate. On the basis of the 1, 2, and 3, you can eliminate. Where is the 1? You can eliminate. And after the elimination of this, you can get the answer. Sometimes this trick is very useful in your examination. If you confirm about the statement, if you 100% confirm it is not correct, then on the basis of this type of statement, you can easily eliminate the other remaining 3 options and you will get the correct answer. And this phenomenon, this activity or this trick is very useful to save your time during your examination. Okay. So other 2 statements are correct. The palm oils is the raw material for the industries producing lipstick and the perfumes. Yes, exactly. This palm oil is has uses in this industries, and the palm oil is also useful for the formation of the production of the biodiesel. If you want to produce the biodiesel, then you use such type of the material which are the hydrocarbons, because you want to convert this starch, this glucose into the biodiesel or the biofuel. So you can eliminate. This is the wrong. and the both two are correct. If you want to prepare, if you are preparing for exam, any exam, if you are preparing for any examination for government exam, government job or the government services, then Exampur official application is the application that is full with the with some important features, some important things that are very relevant to your examination. Exampur is providing you most of the relevant material at the free of cost through Exampur official application. This official application are featured with the free subject-wise, topic-wise quizzes with the report card. If you are doing the preparation, if you are preparing for any examination, and if you are not checking your preparation through questions, through MCQs, quizzes, that means you are not in right direction, on the right path. So firstly, if you are preparing something, then try to solve the MCQs related to that topic. So there is a MCQs or the quizzes with the report cards available in this application. And one important thing, that is the previous year question papers with the topic wise previous year question paper is also available on this platform. So you can download the previous year question paper with your of your examination, for which examination you are preparing. You can easily download the previous year question paper topic wise. If you studied any topic, then you can easily go on this topic and try to solve these questions that has been asked previously in the examination from that topic. So it make the clarity of the topic, it make the clarity of the concept. So it is very relevant thing for your examination purpose. So this is the important thing. All exam previous year question PDFs are with solution is available here, and you can print out. You can print these PDFs. You can make the printout of this PDF. You can download this into the hard copy. So you can print these PDFs, and generally you purchase the previous year question paper at the some price, but all the things are available here at the free of cost. Another important feature is free full length and the sectional test with the report card. If you want to check your preparation, if you want to brush up your preparation, so please try to solve the test paper within the time period. Okay, so there is a full length and the sectional test paper all available on this platform. So it is also at the free of cost with the report card. And the important thing, you will get, if you download this application, you will get the daily, weekly and the monthly current affairs. And what is the significance of the current affairs at the present time, you understand it with during your examination. So at the present time, the current affairs has a very significance. Current affairs is a very significant portion in the preparation or the during the preparation. So you will get the daily, weekly and the monthly current affairs at the free of cost. So all the important things that are essential for any student, that are compulsory to any student, all the things are available on this application at the free of cost. And one important feature, if you download this application, if you want to appear, if you want to get a scholarship, then the Exampur has conducted the scholarship test, and you will get enrolled in the scholarship test. If you fulfilled all the criteria that is decided by the Exampur, then you will get the benefit of the scholarship. So one thing is important, all the things is important, and you will get the all type of the job alerts about the admit card, all the notification that is related to the any examination you will get here on this application. And there is a topic wise free classes also available. Topic wise free classes means if you have any problem in a particular topic of any subject, then you will go on this application and find out that topic and make clear your topic from application. So this is important feature. This is also an important feature of this application. So I always advise you to download this application in your mobile phone and go to your how to download this application. So go your Play Store on your phone and search the Exampur Sarkari Naukri Prep and download this application and register yourself with your email and or mobile number. So this is important thing that is that will helpful for you. So download this application, get the benefits of at the free of cost. Okay. Okay. In today's session, we discussed about some important questions, some important topic. We will discuss the remaining section in the next session. Okay. In today's session, we discussed the things which are important. So we will meet in the next session today, day after tomorrow. Okay. So please subscribe this YouTube channel. Share this video and like this video. Subscribe this channel. You will get the all important things that is relevant for the UPSC examination. For especially English medium student, you will get all the things on this platform. Our team is working for you on through this platform. So please support this platform, subscribe this platform, share this video and like this video. Okay. So we will meet into next session. Thank you so much.